It's week 7 of the 2016 NFL season, and the Minnesota Vikings are coming off a bye and going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are the team that traded Sam Bradford to the Vikings in the preseason. Barely in the preseason, just a few days before the regular season started, for a first-round draft pick in 2017 and a conditional fourth-round draft pick in the 2018 draft. That fourth-round pick becomes a third-round pick if the Vikings make it to the NFC Championship game this year, and it becomes a second-round pick if the Vikings win the Super Bowl this year. So Sam Bradford's going back to where he played last year, and is it going to be a revenge game? Is it going to be an emotional thing, or is it just going to be business as usual? I don't know. Here's what I'm hearing from some Vikings fans. They're looking past the Eagles and thinking about harder opponents further down the line because they think that this game is just in the bag already. And while I can kind of understand that view because the Eagles won their first 3 games and then they had a bye week and then they lost their last 2 and did not look great while they were losing them, I don't subscribe to that view because in looking at some of the advanced metrics and stuff, I think that the Eagles have a pretty good team. They've got a very good defense. I would not say it's as good as the Vikings, but it's a very good defense. And they also have very good special teams play. Their offense through 5 games is about league average, or kind of right in the middle of all the teams. But this is in Philadelphia, and if the crowd's into it and Minnesota doesn't get out to an early lead and the game is still close at halftime, I could see it being a bit of a nail-biter. So what am I looking for specifically in this game? Well, I know that the Eagles' right tackle, last name Johnson, has been suspended for something like 10 games. And so they got this 5th-round rookie in there right now, and he looked bad last week. And it's quite possible he'll look worse this week against a very talented Minnesota defensive line. So look for Wentz to be getting quarterback Carson Wentz to be getting rid of the ball very quickly for Philadelphia, kind of like Eli Manning did a couple weeks ago, where he was thrown into the dirt a lot just to avoid the sacks, or look for him to really take a pounding, a lot of hits and hurries and sacks like Cam Newton did back in week 2 or 3. So I like the Minnesota defense to really rattle that Eagles offense. But I'm sort of viewing it a bit like the Texans game, except the Eagles are a little better in all phases, and it's away for the Vikings instead of at home for the Vikings. So that's why I am not predicting a blowout. I am not predicting a shutout. And if the Vikings are able to get up 14-zip like they did with Houston early on in the game, then I think it could turn into a blowout. Otherwise, I see this one staying close through 2 or maybe all 3 quarters, with Minnesota pulling away in the 4th. So I do see a victory, maybe something like 26-16. We'll see how it goes. So until next time, Vikings fans, stay classy and Skol Vikings.